All right, as a cloud of corruption looms over the Biden campaign, well, Hunter Biden is trying to salvage his father's career as he is found at the center of these issues of, cronyism. Remember that ABC interview that he did that aired yesterday? Well, guess what? During his attempt at damage control, Hunter took a weak shot at the president's son, Don Jr., who is here to respond. But let's take a look first.
I've been through some real stuff. This isn't real stuff. It isn't. It truly isn't. That part of it, that Barnum and Bailey, say anything, do anything you want. Donald Prince Humperdinck Trump Jr. is not somebody that I really care about.
Here with reaction, author of the upcoming book, Triggered, How the Left Thrives on Hate and Wants to Silence Us, is the executive vice president of the Trump Organization, president's son, Donald Trump Jr. I think you're the son that's most like the father, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, maybe it took 41 years to get there, but I guess Hunter Biden has some of that from Joe. He also mumbles through all of his interviews, so I guess I got the oratory
I want to just
skills.
ask one question. I'm going to let you go. I want you to respond fully, but here's my take on this. He is dumb. He admitted everything we knew. He admitted no experience Ukraine, China, no experience energy, oil, gas, no experience private equity. We're talking about a ton. He misled when he said, not a penny. We know he's got equity.
Of course.
Probably 20 million. Here's the thing. If this was you and your vice president dad, sorry to your dad about the demotion, it would be never-ending coverage.
The end of the world, Sean. No, and that's the reality. And by the way, it's not just then. How about right out of school? He gets a high-paying job from MBNA, the biggest bank and the largest employer in the state of Delaware, where Daddy is conveniently a senator. He then gets on the board of Amtrak. I believe that was 1996. So he was, about 27?
What was his experience?
I guess Dad took the train once in a while, so that made him qualified to do that. It never ends. Then you had the China, you have Ukraine, minor problem. He's never been in energy. Doesn't speak Ukrainian, minor details, but it's okay. And by the way, more importantly than that, they want to question my family or imagine being in hiding for months like he's been since we've been talking about this, and you come out and that's the interview you give? That's just guilt in and of itself because it was a pathetic attempt.
He wouldn't have gotten the millions but for his father.
He said it on the stage. Then Joe denies it later on. And of course, Anderson Cooper doesn't call him out, despite the fact that CNN, even CNN,
fake news,
fact-checked them and said, well, Hunter contradicted this. So, it was pretty disgusting. And like you said, if Donald Trump Jr. took $1.5 from China, not $1.5 billion, Sean, just $1.5, we'd solve the fake news media problem because their heads would explode and there would be none of them left. It would be over. If I did that for a no-show job for $83,000 a month in the Ukraine, no problem. You know what the difference between the Bidens and us are? We were international business people before politics, and we gave up doing all new deals going forward. We didn't become magically international business people because of our political position. We put that all aside for years.
And even your brother had to give up raising money for cancer.
It's insane. The double standard is despicable. They utilize that platform with a wink, wink, nod, nod. Joe Biden knows nothing about it other than Hunter says he does, and there's pictures of them playing golf together, right? But he knows nothing about it. Joe Biden willing to fire the prosecutor by threatening the Ukrainian government with millions of dollars in aid if they don't get rid of the guy investigating his son.
$1 billion.
Give me a break, Sean. It never ends. And the fact that they're out there pretending like this wasn't, hey, I'm not going to say that I am not part of who I am because of my father. That would be foolish, okay? But the difference is we did it as capitalists. We did it as business people. We didn't do it pretending and under the cloak of Joe's this great public servant. Well, here, son, here's every job you've ever had. And now they do the family's off limits, kids are off limits. Hunter Biden's 50, okay? I wasn't off limits when it started at 38. Hunter Biden shouldn't be off limits now.
Barron was 10.
Barron was 10. They had no problem trying to go after him. They've made comments about my children, as young as 4 at the time when they started making those comments to my little Chloe. The double standard is despicable. Hey, the difference between us and them, when there's a question, we put it out there. When they say, hey, what about this? I put my emails out there. When my father did, here's the transcript. How come they're doing all of their things under the cloak of secrecy? Everything, Adam Schiff has seen it. No one else has seen it. I'm still hearing about that from Russia. He's seen evidence. But they won't show the American people.
Being colluding with a Russian he thinks isn't a Russian.
What do they have to hide? Why can't they do it in front of the American people like we've been doing it? It's insane. And it's not fair, it's not right, but Americans see it, Sean.
When you don't have any experience, which he admitted, and you're getting paid all this money, you're admitting because your dad's the vice president. Thing is why would they give all this money to the son, China and Ukraine, except that they're really buying favor with the father?
Of course
it's that clear.
Of course they are. And when you're the father and your son's entire career is dependent on that, they own you, Sean. That's what it is. They've bought Biden Inc., and they've been doing it both domestically, whether it was MBNA Bank, whether it was Amtrak, whatever it was, domestically when he was a senator and had influence over domestic policy, and they started doing it internationally the second Joe Biden became vice president and had authority abroad.
I want to know, here all of this is going on with your dad. The Democrats are in disarray. They've done nothing for 3 years that remotely looks like helping with peace, prosperity, safety, and security. Then you got these radical 2020 Democrats that are talking about $94 trillion in 10 years, $36 trillion in 10 years. I don't see this working for them. I see that your father's supporters will be stronger than 2016.
I think without question, because honestly, people, even in the middle, they see the insanity. The other side doesn't talk about issues. They don't talk about unprecedented unemployment numbers for every demographic in the country. They certainly don't talk about 6.3 million people removed off of the food stamp rolls, because guess what?
Almost 7 million.
Those are people no longer dependent on government, and that's a real problem for the Democrats. If Nancy Pelosi maybe would act on the USMCA, you know, the deal that they said no one could ever renegotiate, failed NAFTA, my father did it, but they won't vote on it. Why? It's good for the American people. Why won't they bring it up? Because they need impeachment. They can't beat them at the ballot box, so they got to continue the hoax.
So a lot of people ask me, when you're running, what year do you think you're
I'm not. Right now, honestly, my only focus as an American, as a father, is to get my father reelected for 2020, because he's doing an incredible job. And by the way, he's doing an incredible job despite unprecedented income, Sean. This has never happened to an American president. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace to our republic and our democracy, and it should never be allowed to happen again. And the only cure for that Trump derangement syndrome is 4 more years. That's why I'm spending my time traveling all over the country, campaigning for him, campaigning for those in Congress and in the Senate and in governor seats who believe in him, because we can do this and we can get this country on the right track again. Okay? Our issues shouldn't be how many of the 97 genders are we discussing today. We have real problems in this country, and we have to address that. The Democrats refuse to do so, and we have to hold them to task.
Donald Trump Jr., we'll see you when your book comes out.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.